Hey everyone, James Reeves with TFBTV here at EOS, the European Outdoor Show in Verona, Italy. Got my good friend Ricardo with me. Ricardo is a product manager for Beretta and a big proponent of the BRX1, which has been out for a few months, about 6 months in Europe, but we don't have it in the United States just yet. Now, Ricardo, walk us through, if you would, what exactly the BRX1 is, because right now everyone's thinking, oh great, another bolt action. It's not really this.
Well, the main difference you will see is in order to reload this gun, you only need to do 2 movements. 1, 2. So that's, let's say, the most different thing about a bolt action where you have to do 4 movements and everything. So as you can see, this is basically, this is a 308 gun. It's we can say it's an all-around rifle, specially designed for European markets, where you can do pretty much all the types of hunting. I mean, one of the things about the BRX and that I like about this gun, it's a very rugged rifle that you can use for any type of hunting. You have the accuracy level expected by any client, which is under 1 MOA, and it's guaranteed, and you have a lot of many features. I'm just gonna run you quickly through everything we have, because man, we can stay here talking for 2 hours
and we did yesterday. You know, we were at San Frutoso and shooting this thing all day yesterday.
And yeah, I mean, and even though while we were shooting, I was like, I forgot to tell you about this thing and the other thing. So I'll just try to say what we didn't mention yesterday, so you can go and watch this video about what we did yesterday. So basically we have, it's a synthetic stock and forend on the gun. As you can see, we have stock and forend separated by a central lower receiver. Then of course, going from the back to the front, we have a semi-Monte Carlo stock with a spacer on the back, which means that you can adjust the LOP of the gun. We have our standard, let's say, Beretta hunting pads. You can also be able to change the grip of the gun for those that want, you know, a more vertical grip or
yes,
smaller hands. And very important is the finishing on the polymer parts. One of the important things here that we did is basically we were trying to give not only a good looking, a good feeling while you're holding the gun, but also increase the grip what you have here. So we took this, the same stippling from one of our military pistols, or pistols that we make in order just, you know, it's very important to have the right grip or stippling on the gun where you need it. So we did the same thing. We also collaborated with some of our sister companies when it comes to ergonomics and everything. So we did a very good job on the gun. It took us a long time. One of the other things we can say, of course, is we have a 3-position safety, where basically it means that you have one fire and reload position, the second position where the trigger is blocked, the hammer is disengaged and blocked, and you can reload in total safety. This is important because, I mean, if you are not ready to fire, I mean, and we know how the situations are when you're hunting, it's better to have that extra feature just for reload and be extra safe, because, man, once the shot goes off, you never know what's going to happen. So we don't want that to happen. The other thing is, of course, find a safety position for carrying in case you want to have a round chamber and you want to put it on the sling and you're going to be safe, you can go around. It's okay. I don't recommend it, I don't like it, but people in Europe like to hunt like this because noise is very important. If you're stalking or something, the woods, any noise will scare the animal. So that's, that being said, we have also 100% interchangeability from right-handed to left-handed, either in, let's say, the reloading and the side of the ejection. One of the other things about the rifle is that we have a high visibility orange magazine, which has 2 buttons on this side back here. So in order to take the magazine out, it needs to be a voluntary action that you remove the magazine. Some brands or some types of rifles, they have magazines that can be lost, and this is not, let's say, very...
Well, it can be very expensive, especially with that Sacco we were shooting yesterday.
Well, Sacco, I mean, some other AI magazines. People lose magazines all the time, not only with Sacco, but any kind.
Never me. I've never done that. Never done that.
I mean, especially with AR-15s. I mean, just about them.
Yeah. Screw it.
Yeah. We have an interchangeable Picatinny rail. As you can see here, we have 4 screws, and you can change the Picatinny rail. And we also have a bunch of accessories that maybe you can take a look here later with different, let's say, Picatinny rails in with inclination of 20 MOA, or the other things. We will have also quick release mounts in order to change optic in case you want to use the thermal in night, and then in the morning you want to hunt with a red dot or whatever.
Luca, let's look at some of the accessories that are on the way for the BRX1.
Hello everyone. I will briefly show you what we have here for the ecosystem of the BRX1. We start with a replacement for the original Picatinny rail. We have this tempered steel Picatinny or European standard rail, both in 0 or 20 more. For the Picatinny accessories, we have this new quick release optic mount. They came with a safety, so you don't lose the optic on the way. It just open up, close and clicks in position. It's a mix of aluminum and steel parts. Steel where it engages the rail, aluminum on the rest. So it's pretty light, but it keeps 0 switching optics on and off. Always on the quad line we have scope mounts and also Zeiss and Swarovski interfaces, both quick releases. To complete the possibility to touch optics, we have some aluminum scope rings, really light, with double dent to engage the rail, and we have all the different measures from 30 millimeters to 26 or 1-inch millimeters to 24 millimeters. Apart from the scope mounting system, we have a muzzle brake, a cylinder muzzle brake with radiant also. We have a vertical or closed grip. It replaces the original. You just unscrew the screw on the bottom and replace the parts with the same screw. And we have some pretty cool keychain made of authentic cartridges where there is a hole to show that it is empty, both in 308 and 3006. Lastly, you have this made in Italy brand new bipod. You have it has a Picatinny attachment system, so we have this pretty small rail that attaches to the front swivel attachment, and the bipod is completely adjustable, so you can move the legs up. You have 5 positions as you prefer, or depending on the ground you're facing. You can switch the leg and with the thumb adjust the leg. It's not spring loaded, so you won't go anywhere until you want. You have some count and you have a useful block, so you don't go too much on the left nor to the right.
Luca, are all of these accessories out now in the European market?
Exactly, all available. Some other coming really soon, as for example olive drab stocks and forend for the rifle. And stay updated so you will see all the news releasing.
This one in particular is a 51 centimeter barrel, so it's a short barrel gun, chambered in 308. And one of the things that you recognize the 308 is the magazine, which is black on the inside. What else?
We've got to talk about it. I know we talked about it yesterday, but this is such a big deal, especially considering this might be the first time American viewers see a video about the BRX1. I promise you, this video is going to run way before our comprehensive rundown yesterday. So you got to talk about the durability of the cold hammer forged barrel and chamber.
Okay, so we have a cold hammer forged barrel, which is the same process we use internally for making military guns or any other shotgun that we have on the market. Cold hammer forged, the key thing to say about the cold hammer forging a barrel in case of a 308 is easy because it's very similar to 7.62 NATO, but 3006, 300 Winchester Manning, 6.5, they're all done with the same process. What you achieve here is 100% concentricity between the bore axis and the chamber axis. So the gun is more durable, more accurate, and since you're doing all the machining or all the building of the barrel in one step, you don't have any tolerances issues about the chamber being perfectly aligned with the bore of the barrel, the axis of the barrel. Another thing, it's the closing mechanism, as you can see. It's a standard rotating ball head, pretty similar to any of the AR-15s that you see in the market nowadays, which means it's very reliable. We also did I think it's the 225 or D225 NATO test for small arms in the same document. Basically, it's what the NATO asks for a gun in order to be approved, be NATO approved. Of course, this is not a military gun, but the concept is just we designed this gun as if it was a military gun, but with having in mind that, of course, the objective and the use of this gun was not going to be the military, but the hunter. So from the safety measures, the durability, the reliability, everything was following this where possible. Of course, it's not a set full auto rifle. It's simply a manual repeating rifle, or how I like to call it, a modern repeating rifle.
And you have a 1 MOA guarantee with this one?
Yes, each barrel, at least in in Europe, when we sell the gun, you can download from your webpage the actual accuracy certificate where someone in the factory shot that gun, and probably you can shoot better than the guy in the factory, I don't know, but we guarantee 1 MOA, which is standard, nowadays is standard, let's say, when it comes to rifles.
I'm not sure I can shoot any better than a guy who's sitting here just cranking off BRX1 rounds all day, but I think that's one of the coolest features, that you can actually download your own certificate from your own serial number, and you had a silly number of rounds, like 20,000 rounds through gun, and it'll still do a 1 MOA.
When we developed the rifle, one of the tests we did is we took one rifle to up to, it was I think over 10,000 rounds of 300 Winchester Magnum, and by the way, were a batch of rounds that were discarded because they were loaded above. I mean, I think they were loaded to 105, 110% of 300 Win Mag capacity, or the CAP capacity. So we said, oh, perfectly, we have some rounds, we can use it, let's try it, and we did. And we shoot all those rounds because we had to test the rifle, and after 5,000 shots we were checking accuracy, and the gun was still, let's say, doing okay under 1 MOA.
So this came out last year, about 6 months ago in Europe. In what calibers, and how much did this rifle cost for those?
So it came out in 3 calibers, the classic 300s that we like to call, which is 308, 3006, and 300 Winchester Magnum. With this, we thought it was the best options to go out in the beginning. Of course, we have a huge, let's say, lineup of calibers that are going to be produced, but at the moment we just need to be focused on producing the rifle and getting it out on the market. So it's 3 calibers, and the price point in Europe is 1,550 euros MSRP.
And these are definitely coming to the United States. We just don't know when for sure.
So stay tuned. We're going to go to the United States soon. We don't know when. Now, with all this situation and people buying rifles everywhere, we just need to put our production capacity at a decent level in order to supply correctly the US market.
Well, I can't wait to produce our full review of the gun, but I love the fact that you took the time to give us the rundown. This is a fantastic rifle. Like, I was very impressed. I went from being like, it's another hunting rifle, to us shooting it all day yesterday being like, wow, this is something different.
It's different. That's what I like to say. It's different. It's easy to shoot. The recoil management, it's absolutely great. And the balance of the rifles. I mean, if you're a serious hunter and you know what you're doing, or even if you're a novice hunter and you take this rifle, you're going to find it very easy to use, and still it's something that you can use for any type of hunting, and even go to the shooting range to just have fun with some of your buddies with AR, just
like we did yesterday. Ricardo, thank you very much for walking us through. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more from the European Outdoor Show.